Hi everyone, good morning. Good morning, Dino. Dino, do you hear the music? Oh, you hear the piano? Is it yes or no? Okay. Yeah, I was trying to fix, or not fix, but like remove the music from my video, but still broadcast it on stream, so I could play more other music without getting copyright strike. Yeah, Neil, really strong. Let's see what levels we have here. So we might have some resistance at 4038. It's extended, so let's see if we can set up something. It's a bit higher price, definitely, so it might not behave the same way. Let's see if we get a nice bounce here. Retest 40. So I didn't give a bounce yet. Excuse me.
This is eToro, the leading social trading platform.
Thank you. I think Neo's gonna be tricky. I'm also watching like OCGN. If it actually reclaims like VWAP, I think it'll look good. Yeah, Neo might not be ready. Yeah, it looks like it might do a bullish engulfing candle on the daily for Neo. So I'll be careful. Very high strength. OCGN. I'm gonna watch OCGN. If you pull up the hourly chart, has a nice little flag here forming. It's like a perfect chart. It looks like it's gonna choose a direction pretty soon. If this actually reclaims VWAP and flags, I'm gonna take that long. I think this inner flag will break the hourly flag, and I think it will get a big move. Mark. Yeah, Mark's getting extended, getting parabolic here. So this 5 minute needs to close first, which is gonna close in a few seconds. All right, so it's closed now. We got 222 here. ISNS, if it does a higher low here, it might get interesting for high daybreak. What's the float on Mark? $90 million. So you look at this, it's all green candles. Those are higher than the rest. So if it gets too extended on the 9-minute chart, you could potentially short the first low on the 1 minute to the 90 MA. So it's gonna be like a small trade like that until it sets up for a bigger one. Yeah, ISNS it's gonna be a difficult one, but it looks like if these are high day like shorts piling in and it's holding the trend like this, you can get a nice squeeze. If these are shorts, it depends if these are shorts or these are just sellers unloading shares. But if it consolidates here, maybe retest the 580 level. Next day, it's hitting a bit of resistance right here on the daily. But it would need to, if it pops up, it's gonna pull back and needs to hold the 240 as support, and then maybe we could get higher, like on this like cup and handle break. But it's gonna need to do a lot of work on that. Hey Sam Spaghetti, welcome. Yeah, it's all about experience. I think once you kind of put yourself in the trading mode, you kind of understand it a little bit more. I'll start reading like about like risk management and candlesticks. So each of these candles have a meaning. And also about patterns. Right now you get increase in volume. It's telling me that two things, shorts that are like shorting these tops. You can see these wicks. These are probably shorters or sellers. But each time you get high, they're cutting their losses, stopping out. So you got an increase in volume. Or the second thing is chasers on the long side. I make profit on the same day. I'm a day trader. I typically don't hold anything overnight or multiple days. I do have a separate account where I occasionally do buy some options to like swing trade, but it's nothing serious though. So right now looking like it's losing traction. 2 wicks. So 244. So that's the first time it broke down there with a 1 minute low. So OCGN is reclaiming VWAP right now. So I'm also watching OCGN. This platform is called Thinkorswim. Thanks for the follow, Sam Spaghetti. So it looks pretty wicky. I think it might still trend a little higher. But I'll keep mark on the side. I'm gonna move my focus on OCGN. I think this, if it holds VWAP here, I might take this. Might be a little early. So 1192. Right. So I started in there, but I don't like that wick. But I'm gonna hold it as long as VWAP holds. But it's a pretty nasty wick. Hopefully it comes back and make the candle look a little better. Alright, so I probably have to stop out here. So I took it off there for a $50 loss. I'm gonna revisit it once it reclaims VWAP. So yeah, this wasn't enough time to do here. I went in a little too early just in case it squeezed, but ideally it's gonna consolidate a little longer here and then maybe break this flag, which is going to be like 1196 or so. So I'm gonna keep it on watch. It has a nice hourly chart. Very big hourly flag here. Once this breaks, I think it's going to like $15.
This is the
Mark.
where grandson and granddad will bond. This is the kitchen where the new boyfriend will unofficially become family. These are the Verbo vacation homes waiting for your family.
$231s.
Does your broker provide commission-free stock trading? Provide commission-free options trading?
So let's see if we can get a bounce here.
Does your broker
One more bounce.
access to real-time streaming trading platform for free?
Does your broker provide professional-grade web and desktop platform?
Where everyone receives the mobile trading app for free.
Trade Zero does.
Does your broker
So I'm gonna I'll take this a shot. If it breaks
and more?
239s.
Does your broker
Let's see, do I have locates?
access to hard to borrow stocks?
Yeah, I do. Okay. So I'll take the 239 break, risking 245s.
Broker offer 24/7 customer support, offer pre and post market trading. Trade Zero does.
Trade Zero America is here.
OCGN is actually broke out. Dang.
Sign up now. TradeZero.us.
Alright, so I went ahead and start a little bit there. If it breaks 239, I'm gonna add more. So 245 my stop. It's a little bit too early, so let's see if it breaks 239s first. OCGN did what I wanted. That's a little bit too early. Stopped me out. Dang. Alright, I added a little bit more there at 3,000 shares. That was a trend line break, but let's see if it continues. VWAP is just right underneath at 236. Alright, so I have to stop out. Alright, so $112 loss there. No biggie. Yeah, so I don't like those wicks when it breaks down like that. So the thing about shorting like the trend line, or like if it's a trend line break, it needs to break the prior pivot lows. If it doesn't, it can still hold and go higher. Yeah, so yeah, 245. So looks like it's gonna go higher. It's from this wick. Probably trapped a few shorts there, including myself. Oh yeah, if you get TDA Vxrt, look for the Thinkorswim platform. Search Thinkorswim in their website and download the client. This is what I'm using. It's pretty good software. So going back to OCGN, so this was the spot here. So this was the move I was looking for, and it might be the hourly break. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it needed to retest the 5-minute chart. I think it went a little too early. If it closed this candle, and then this would have been a better buy spot. But 1216 is higher day. Hopefully it doesn't break higher days and just pulls back and then gives us a higher day break. And then I think this will be a big move. The hourly chart looks like it's ready. It's a nice looking flag. It's pretty tight. So right now, OCGN, what it needs to do is have a pullback to 1190 and then break of high of day 1260. I think that's gonna be the next spot. Hopefully it pulls back here to give us a risk level. Yeah, just search Thinkorswim in TD Ameritrade. If you have it, you have an account for it already. It's a really nice platform, and it's free. Alright, so nice pullback. Hopefully it pulls back a little more and retest the 5-minute chart. And I'll look to buy that high day break. I miss my entry here. Or I was a little bit too conservative, stopped out too early there. But you know, sometimes you just have to take those stops. Yeah, the reason I didn't like that and I stopped out because of the wick. If this candle closed kind of stronger, I wouldn't have stopped out. I will attempt the 1216 break, risking 12 if it breaks here, but ideally we want another pullback. Like one more pullback here. Usually you want a margin account if you're day trading, cash account if you're below like 25,000. I think ISNS might do something. Ooh, let's see, did it break higher days? Right here. There's a double top. Alright, this is a double top. The line looks confusing. Alright, so this is a 610 double top. OCGN has might break 1216. Hopefully we get a pullback. Yeah, ISNS is going to be probably a tricky one. If you're new, we'll probably avoid because it might get a lot of wicks. But OCGN, hopefully it pulls back. I want another pullback at least, and then we can take that 12-16 break. It looks pretty clean. So, yeah, if it breaks 12-16 here, I'm gonna take it small. Stop at 12. Yeah, it could be a hobby, but don't make it an expensive hobby. Make sure you have a plan, or at least a paper trade. Thinkorswim does have a simulation paper trade, so you can practice. Alright, so there's the pullback. Hopefully it can consolidate 5 more minutes, and I'll take the 12-16 break. ISNS. So the two stocks I'm watching is OCGN and ISNS. So OCGN is gonna break 5 days. Oh, there he goes. I got a bad feel, but I'm in an OCGN. I took OCGN long there. I only grabbed 500 shares, pretty small, stopping. Yeah, so I have 500 shares on OCGN. Nice breakout here. And I think on the hourly chart, it looks pretty clean for a huge move. Right here. But it can also fail, so we'll see what happens. I got in at 12.18 right here. And Sam, you can check out my YouTube as well. Right now I'm kind of averaging around that. Yeah, it could be a normal thing. It also depend on your position sizing. But yeah, people could make, you know, 50 bucks, 100 bucks a day to like 10,000 to 20,000 a day to like 100,000 a day. So it all depends on your risk management and how much you're willing to take on a trade. Yeah, so if I had I only got 500 shares, but if I had more shares, I would have sold some here already. If it dips, I might add more. But because I like the hourly chart breakout, this is a pretty nice hourly chart breakout, I'm gonna hold it for a bigger move. So I'm just gonna hang on here on my 500 shares. I think a lot of swing traders and bigger time frame players is gonna buy in once they realize it's a nice chart. So I'm kind of confident it's gonna go higher, maybe to $14 end of the day. So I'm just gonna keep hanging on here on my 500 shares. Wish I had more. I might just sell a little bit just in case it has a harsh pullback. It's gonna sell 100 shares. Trying to get Phil 100 shares here at 12.45. All right, so I got Phil there, 100 shares, just 1/5 my position. Sans spaghetti. So a pullback is when the stock, so when the stock goes up, and then when we say pullback, we're just asking the stock to go back down, like a retracement or a correction. So this part is a pullback. So nice trade here. Daniel or Adelie, did you guys take it? I think it's a pretty clean trade. It's pretty confident in this due to the hourly chart flag. It's a nice looking flag breakout. This could go to 14, 15. But also it could fail, right? So if it needs to hold 12. If it pulls back, it needs to hold 12 as support. So I'm gonna hang on here as long as it's in trend on the 5-minute chart. You took Mark. I think Mark has set up a 5-minute reversal later. I think it needs 10 minutes. Right now, OCGN is a little bit extended, so I might sell a little bit more. So another 100 shares there. I think we're gonna get a big pullback. So you can see how OCGN, it went this much. So we're gonna see a correction. So it's gonna pull back. The stock goes up and down, right? It doesn't go straight up. So I took 200 shares off up here. So two things gonna happen. I mean, the healthy way would be like it's gonna pull back to the 5-minute chart and then maybe sets up later. It's gonna be yeah, I think because it has a bigger float on OCGN, it's not gonna be like a straight up thing. It's probably gonna be like pullback and then set up another flag, break higher, and then kind of rinse and repeat type trade to like 13, 14. But it does need to hold $12. As long as it's over 12, it's the breakout is working. Yeah, I had a nice entry here. Just this wick had me concerned and I stopped out. So I would have had a better entry here on this flag once support resistance became support. All right, so I didn't get like a 1 minute bounce there, but I'm gonna continue to hold. My stop is gonna be just below 12 on this. I'm just gonna be patient. Hey Sam, yeah, yeah, you want to sell if it pulls back. So typically you want to sell before the pullback. So if you see weakness, I usually try to sell some or most. But sometimes you want to take a look at the bigger picture to kind of tell you when to hold longer. So my bigger picture here is from this flag break, it could go to 13, 14, 15 in the next hour or two. But the thing is, yeah, you'll have to wait. You have to kind of manage these pullbacks, right? So it doesn't shake you out. Like shake you out in terms of like paper hand sell there, right? But yeah, sometimes I would sell here and then I would re-add. If it sets up another flag, I would add somewhere here, like take another entry. So while this is running, I'm gonna scan some other stocks here and see what else is moving. So ISNS broke the trend line here. Looks like it's pretty dead. If it actually pulls back and reclaim as support again here, higher low and break half days, I think it's very troublesome for shorts. I think shorts are screwed. This can be a huge squeeze. But I think I'm not sure how likely that will happen. It would need to like reclaim high day, higher low. So OCGN is pretty extended. So OCGN, let's see if it holds a higher low here. it is extended, and if I was short, this would have been a signal for me. But yeah, we'll see if it holds this as support. So you need to pop up right now. It holds this as support. It's going to confirm that buyers are still in control, and they're still dip buyers. San Spaghetti. So day trading, normally day traders would trade throughout the whole day. But yeah, the optimal time to day trade is like the first 2-3 hours in the morning, and then maybe the last 2-3 hours in the day before it closes. And then you want to avoid kind of lunchtime, like 12 o'clock Eastern, because the volume is low. People are taking breaks, and more like robots are trading those. Yeah, so nice move here. That's what I wanted. So if it creates a higher low here, it's a potential add here for a move higher on OCGN. So I'm gonna just hang on my 300 shares. So that's a strong move, telling me that buyers still in control, and the hourly people here are finally realizing it. That's good, and they might be buying it higher right now. So I'm just gonna hang on. I might add if it consolidates a little longer here and then breaks. I'm gonna add a little bit more, but we'll see what happens. I only buy Sam. I only bought 500 shares. So I bought here at 12.18 and I sold 200 at 12.45. So that was 30 cents, right? So that's roughly $60 only from 500 shares. I took a small loss earlier here. I took a $50 loss. So I pretty much regained my loss there. So the higher day here is 12.54. So I might take an add if it breaks 12.54 here. Stop at 12.40 for those. The only thing is this extend down the 5-minute chart. Don't particularly like that. But I think if it breaks, it could pull the 5-minute 90 MA up, and that'll look a lot better. All right, so it broke the trend line there. So we might just get a full retest on the 5-minute chart. All right, so that's the 5-minute chart test. Pretty huge. So that's alright. It's expected to get that 5-minute correction. It was a trend line break. So if I was a shorter, I would probably short that. But if it hangs on the 5-minute chart here, and create a higher low and break a 15 or 1254, I'll take that. Ads. So while that's kind of working out, I'm gonna look around for other ideas here. Let's see. FAMI. OCGN, I might take this. Might get a VWAP squeeze. Or not OCGN, NAKD. So I might buy this 71. So I want to take a long here. 4,500 shares. I'm stopping at 71. Okay. So it's a quick trade. I mean, quick break there, but I have 6,000 shares. 72 average. Stop here is going to be 71.20s. I'm just going to hang on here. We might get a push and pull back, holds VWAP, and I can probably add. But I took a long trade here. So NAKD needs to hold above this VWAP. So OCGN, if it breaks the 5-minute chart trend, I'm probably gonna take it off. No problem, Sam. See you later. So I had an early entry here on NAKD for this flag break. If it consolidates here a little longer and holds VWAP, I will probably take another add at 7250 break. So OCGN is holding it. Alright, so it's holding VWAP here, NAKD. So let's see if it hangs on. I'm gonna take OCGN off. I'll wait for it to set up later. It's a $32 win on that after my $50 loss. So I took OCGN off here. So I bought this break here, kind of cup and handle break, sold into this push, and I sold on here. It looks a little bit weak. We might get a retest of VWAP and then set up later. And if it does set up later, I'll buy the high day break again, or a flag that sets up. But it's gonna take a few minutes, or not a few minutes, like maybe like 30 to 45 minutes for that to happen. I'm in NAKD. So NAKD in at around a 72.72 average from this flag break. Right now it's might be an early flag here, and it got wicked. So let's see what happens. But I might add here. So add a little bit more shares. Okay, might be a bad idea, but so let's see. So 73 is probably the level it needs to break out. So looking back at this on the 5-minute chart, it looks a bit extended. Kind of went from the lows of 70s. So we might get some pullback. Alright, so I probably have to take downsize a bit. So I'm taking it off a little bit. I think we have to wait for the 73 break. All right, so I'm all out there on NAKD. It was just a $20 loss. I'm gonna wait until a 73 break. I'm gonna put an alert here so I won't forget. I think it looks pretty decent. But I think 73, I think the bigger move would be like a 73 support and then a flag off that. That's going to be ideal. Something like this. Resistance, right? It becomes support right here. And then you buy a flag. It might be a 74 buy or 75. And I think that'll look a lot better. But 73 is definitely also a spot. MDLY. Are we looking at on the daily chart? Because the daily, is this the right ticker? MDLY. Okay. Yeah. On an intraday, there's no volume at all. So you have to just look at the daily. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. It looks like a pump and dump stock. Pretty much every big move, it just goes back down with wicks. So it's just a pumper. Nothing going on here. It's just probably just waiting for news or anything to get sold off. I don't see anything there on MDLY. So OCGN is actually trending back higher here after that 5-minute test. Houston can get interesting in 15 minutes, or yeah, a couple when the 15-minute close. So let's see, the plan of Houston, it will need to hold 304 as support, and hopefully it actually breaks down, maybe retest VWAP and then goes back and then retests, holds 304 as support, and then you draw this flag line like this and it breaks around 308 310 area, and I think this will look really good. But it needs to do all of that in the next 10 minutes. Let's see, on the daily chart. Okay, the daily doesn't look... Alright, so we might not get that move because the daily doesn't look ready. But it could be for a short scalp, but it's not going to be an explosive move. Yeah, so it looks like this day will just be a consolidation day. It might get a little push, but it's not going to be a big move. So this is going to be like a consolidation day, and then we're going to get a flag like this that extends to the next day, and then maybe the bigger move would be the next day or two and next week. Oh, what's that? Yeah, OCGN looks very decent. Yeah, OCGN, like I mentioned, hourly chart looks really good. I think this can go to 13, 14, 15, but it really depends on how we trade it today to capture those moves. If it taps this 1 minute, 5 minute chart, I don't play any games right now, but I used to play PC games mostly. Like started with like StarCraft, Counter-Strike 1.6, pretty old Counter-Strike. Yeah, I used to play like in a league for Cal, or Counter-Strike. This was like probably 10 years ago, or like 12 years ago. Play StarCraft 2, StarCraft Brood War before, Warcraft 3. Played WoW before. I only play it up until Burning Crusade on WoW. That's like 10 to 12 years ago as well. And then I played a lot of League of Legends, like during beta, and a few years there. Played a lot of Dota on Warcraft 3 before there was a lot of copy of them. Yeah, OCGN, the only downside here is the 15-minute is extended. But if it breaks here, I'll try it just because the bigger picture looks good. I don't know, maybe my judgment is clouded because of the hourly bias. So now I only play chess for fun, like just online. I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. Okay, so 12:32. All right, so I'm gonna try to take this break. If it breaks 12:46, 12:47, I'm gonna stop at 12:32. Oh, so do Guido, all these lines are the 9 EMA, so 9 exponential moving average of the time frames, and they're all on the 1 minute chart. So I wrote the script for this, the program, or the indicator for this. It's pretty much saying, so this tier 1 is the 1 minute 9 EMA, this one is the 5 minute 9 EMA. Let's see what it does here. I'm gonna try to take this. All right, so I took that. I'm in 1,000 shares. Like I said, I'm trying to take that 1245 break. So let's see if it moves. Break high of days. All right, so nice move there. I don't know, it was pretty quick. I don't know if anyone captured that. But I got 1,000 shares. Probably gonna sell some of this initial push just in case it fails. But I'm gonna hold this. So very big volume on that breakout. Nice push. So I took 200 shares more off there. So let me check the extension. So this extension, I can see it going to $13 from this breakout on the 5 minute chart. So I'm measuring the 5 minute prior leg and I'm adding it onto this, and it can go to $13, 1290s. So I'm gonna hang on here. I think a lot of other bigger time frame players will probably jump in. As long as it holds the 1250 prior breakout level. So as long as this dip holds 1250, I'm still comfortable holding this. I day trade with shares. I do have a margin account, so I can buy up to like 500k of shares, or I mean $500,000 worth of stock. So I trade using risk management. So if I'm going in, so I went in 1,000 shares, right? 1245 break, stop at 1232. So that's $100 loss. That's $100 loss, right? So I scale in based on my loss. And right now I made $200, as you can see. I made $250 now. So I already made 2 times my risk. So as long as you take those, you know, you risk tight and you take big gains. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't work, right? You stop out for $100 loss. So I'm okay with that. But if you win, your wins should cover all your small losses. So I'm gonna hang on here because the hourly chart is really tight. I mean, like I mentioned, the hourly chart looks, I think, pretty much perfect. This can go to 13, 14, 15 in the next hour. It just depends on how I trade it, or if I have conviction to hold it out of the way. But I'm definitely a seller, and then I'll rebuy again, just like right here. I bought, sold, and now I'm buying again, and then I'll probably sell in here. And if it sets up pretty much similar to over here, again, I'll probably buy and sell just to recycle the shares. So right now it's extended. It's definitely extended right now. But there's still a lot of buyers. So yeah, very nice breakout. If anyone else caught that, but that was what I called there. 5 minute break. I was gonna buy at 1245. So still 100 more shares here. It's getting to the 100% extension on the Fibonacci retrace extension. I should change this level 2. So this is the level 2 trade 0 from trade 0. So I'm only down 400 shares. I'm gonna look to sell a little bit more in the 90s. Alright, I just sold a little bit more there. I'm just down to 300 shares. It's a pretty huge move. You might get a correction back. Hey Johnny. With day traders, just look at price action. We don't care about fundamentals. We trade the ticker, not the company. So we don't care what the company does or their outlook or news or whatever. I trade based on price action. So when it breaks out, it's all psychological, and the reason it breaks out like this because these red areas you have shorts. So day traders, they're short traders and long traders, right? So almost every stock has shorts in them, has day trades, and when things are holding up well and they're shorting, averaging up, when it breaks out like this, shorts are being squeezed, as well as new buyers like me going in. So you got new buyers and shorts having to cover their short losses. So that creates a squeeze for the stock to go higher. And it's just a rinse and repeat thing. So this broke higher and then consolidate. People are trying to short in here and they get squeezed once it broke higher. Yeah, nice Daniel. I still have a 1245 average with 300 shares here. It went 100% move here on the extension, so I'm gonna sell a bit more. I just have 100 shares. Yeah, I'm happy with selling most of my shares up here. I think this is a pretty strong move. It'll probably pull back to 1250 before going higher. I think it's gonna have a correction, and like I mentioned, I think this could go to 14 end of the day or 13, but definitely it needs to set up. I'm not gonna blindly hold it to 14. So I just have 100 shares here. I realized around $300 right now. Hey Johnny, so I have a scanner on the left here. You can see I have a few scanners. So the far left, let's see, can you see this? Yeah. The far left is pretty much the stocks that are up at least 5% of the day. And then I pretty much just trade those. So the criteria is it has to be at least, I say 5%, but preferably at least 10% on the day, and doing at least $1 million in volume. Correct. So I trade whatever is moving on the day, and as well as what happened on yesterday. So I have another scanner that trades that looks at stocks that were high percent gainers yesterday. So OCGN, very nice move. I'm gonna sell a bit more here at 13 there, 1301s. I only have 50 shares. Nice trade. I think, yeah. Right now, the reason it's not pulling back is because the hourly chart is very good. if you are a hourly chart trader or a daily candle trader, if you look at this daily candle, right, it's this nice flag. So people that buy on the day, they're thinking that's gonna go to $18, like no joke. So as a daily breakout player that is risking down here, they're okay with just buying here, like right now. So that's why it's going higher, because they're okay buying here expecting 18. So that's why some of these moves are really strong, and they might not do a huge correction like we normally see, just because it's a strong breakout on the hourly chart. But I'm just gonna take it all off when the 1 minute chart break, 1 minute trend on the rest of my 50 shares, and then I'm gonna still gonna keep an eye on it. If it sets up later for 13 break to 14, so it's kind of similar to what I did here. I bought that this break here. So I'm gonna wait for it to do the same thing and then re-add. Yeah, I do shorts as well.
To trade cryptocurrencies. Steve does extensive research in order to
I could potentially short this right now. So and I might actually do it. Let's see. Do I have locates?
Dave follows the feed for the latest cat videos. Steve has a watch list.
But the reason sometimes you might be you might have to be careful shorting, because on the thanks for the follow, Johnny. 5 deal a 5-year-old. But
Dave does too. Trade like a Steve with eToro, the world's leading social trading platform.
so right now it's extended. I want to see a bounce here. I'll look for a short 1296 break.
Checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond. This is the kitchen where the new boyfriend will unofficially.
If 1296 break, I'm gonna sell my 50 shares that I have long and flip it short. So that's what I'm gonna do. 1296. Alright, so I sold there. I'm gonna wait for a 1296 break. So I flipped short there. Alright, 1296 didn't break there exactly. Is it gonna break? Alright, so it broke. Now I'm short 1,000 shares. But so it hasn't tested the 1 minute 90 MA trend yet, so I have to be careful here. It might bounce again. Alright, so now I'm short. Alright, that's a nice move there. But I'm gonna cover because I don't feel like it might continue. Yeah, so there's still a lot of dip buyers here. But definitely I'm gonna take some more off. If this 1 minute chart close below the 90 MA, it'll look better. If it close with a wick like this, I'm gonna take it off because I don't like wicks. Alright, so it's close with a wick. I'm gonna take it off there. I don't feel comfortable, but I think that was a small win. Yeah, I think that was just a $30 win or so. I'm okay with that. I don't like these wicks. It still have a lot of dip buyers buying in, so I don't think it's going to be a full clean reversal on the 1 minute chart. But I'll wait until it sets up something much cleaner. Might be a little more. It could go both sides right now. But $387 from these trades. 2 long trades here. Buy and then sold, bought and sold, flipped short on the reversal. Wasn't really clean, so I took it off. I don't really trust it. So I'm gonna wait until it sets up on either side. Yeah. So a lot of day traders will play both longs and shorts, and usually it's just a pump and dump. None of the stocks you see that people day trade are good investments. If they're good investments, they're probably above $20. Anything below like $5, $10 is probably day trading stocks. Especially if they're moving 10%. Oh, IDEX. Yeah, IDEX. I traded this when it was it below $1? Wait, was it below $1? Or it might have been $2. It looks decent. What IDEX need to do, it needs to hold 350 as support. But it's showing sign of strength. So right now you want to see a higher low. So you can see these are lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. It's still in a downtrend, and you can see lower lows, lower lows. So it's still in a downtrend. But right now, if this holds a higher low like this, and then it breaks, so you might get a retest on this, and then you get a higher low and breaks above this, it'll be the cup and handle. And now if you hold this 350 as support, you're gonna have that flag, and it could go higher. So it's a pretty decent spot. But yeah, first thing you want to do is hold a higher low. It's gonna be a first sign of reversal. Okay, let's see, how is OCGN doing? So it could still be a reversal here. So it broke highs there, stop at 1301. Alright, so that's the flag trend break. Debating if I should start one here or not. Yeah, that was a trend line break. So potentially you could take that maybe small trend line break, stop at 13. And you can get maybe a 1270 reversal. But I don't trust it right now based off the hourly chart breakout. We might still get some buyers there. I might buy at any price. Oh, FAMI. FAMI had a nice 5-minute reversal. Missed it. Right here. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Inverted cup and handles. Handles. Break. It's a nice short there. So I trade two strategies. These are the two strategies I trade. OCGN pretty much did a few of those long setup, and then on the short side it's that inverted cup and handle. So these are the two strategies I trade, and pretty much just wait patiently for those to set up and take those trades with those risk. So I was looking for those tight risks, right? A high or low, so you can minimize your risk, or a lower high on the short side to minimize that risk. So when you enter a trade, you should know where your stop is and where your profit targets are. If you're trading and you don't know where those are, then you don't have a plan. You're just either buying and hold, or being a bag holder afterwards, or yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's no plan. So yeah, if you want to day trade, you definitely not have to have a plan. AUPH is trending on the 5-minute chart pretty well today. Yes. If you don't have a plan, you're gambling, and hope is not a strategy, just like in gambling. Right now, the trades I take, or those patterns that I showed earlier, is I always keep my bias open, like, but the longer the pattern plays out, the higher probability it will be your favor. So wow, that's a 5-minute test there. Touch the 5-minute. So guess what? It did this exactly over here. You see that? It's the same thing. Tested the 5-minute, which is the red line. It's doing the same thing. So it could maybe do it the same thing and break out again. Same little wick as the 5-minute earlier. So this is tricky. This would have kind of get me upset, because I probably would have short this and then I stop here, and then it crashes. Like, okay. So this shorts got in early, then shorts got squeezed here, and then smacked. So pretty annoying if I was short there. But yeah, like I mentioned, I always keep my bias open, so I always look at both long and short side. I short both sides. So right now, the probability is, 50-50, right? It can go up or down, long or short. But as it sets up slowly, one side will favor the other, and then you might get 70% chance it'll be a short, 30% chance to be a long, and there's like a scale, right? It's just like wherever it tips that's your probability. Like if it sets up like a lower high and breaks like this, it's definitely a higher probability it's going to be a short. Although yeah, it might reclaim and stop you out, but your chances increases as those patterns play out. Like right here, right? Similar. Like this, it'll be a coin flip, but as it consolidates and higher lows, higher low, now you have a higher probability of being a long trade and going higher. So as your probability increase, like maybe when it hits here and breaks, it's 100% now, right? So you're playing with probability, and if you play with those probabilities and you have good risk management, I think you'll be successful. And the patterns are just high probable setups. So that's why I play those patterns. So NAKD broke 93 there. Couldn't hold 93 as support, or 73. So if this held like this at the 73 as support, that would have been a long. Now it broke 73. It got people long there, and now it fell. So this, you get a breakout and it fell. Couldn't hold that, so now people are selling. So all the buyers up here are now sellers, which create a high supply. Oh, someone mentioned Vxrt. Vxrt looks decent right now. If it holds 990 here. So there might have been a spot here where people were a little early. So that was a nice little spot if you're looking for a VWAP squeeze. So this is a under VWAP. So this was a nice spot if you want to play like a VWAP squeeze type play, stopping here. So it's a pretty tight risk. So when you go in a stock, you want a tight risk relative to the range of the stock, right? So this is the range of the stock, and here's your risk. So it's decent amount there, because you don't want to buy like here and risking here. That's gonna be like 50% of the range. So like you risk $100 here, it needs to go like 100% of the range to make 2 times that. But if you risk like really small and the range is like this, now your range is like, your risk, you could get like 10x, right? So now if you buy here, you can imagine you can get 10x that. But right now it looks decent. I think what I'm looking for here is probably a pullback, consolidate, and then break of this flag later. If it breaks now, it's a little too early. I'm not gonna take it. But yeah, it looks like it's breaking here, but some people would buy that, stopping here. I mean, I don't. It's a little bit too late. It came from here to here already, so not my spot to buy there. Yeah, so some people buy, you know, like dip buying. So there's 2 ways. You could dip buy the EMA line the first time. Like if it's like the first time it dips to the EMA line, you could dip buy there. That's probably the best spot. And then you just sell into the pushes. So like here, right? The first time was here. You could dip buy. You could put an order out there, and then like maybe it'll fill you, and then you can sell into these pushes. But it happens well on maybe the first time only. But if you're looking at to dip by like a second time or third time, it's most likely gonna fail. Because it's probably extended on the other time frames. So it's also good to look at every time frame. I also look at the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and the hourly chart, and the daily chart to gauge my bias of the day, or for that stock at least. So you can see INS and S, it had a huge gap compared to its daily. That's why it's selling off, plus it's hitting resistance. So unless the news is like life changing, it's probably gonna sell off the next few days back down to the daily chart. And it just moved from news and not from a technicals perspective. So you have people that are just kind of selling. Like if there's news plus technicals, you'll have a strong and healthier move. Yeah, you could potentially short for gap fill. There's probably swing shorters there. So Vxrt, yeah, actually continuing this breakout, but not my style of trade. It's a little bit extended, but potential spot there. I think the best spot would have been here, like I mentioned, for the VWAP squeeze on that flag break. Right now it's too late to buy. CLOV. Hey Oscar. So OCGN is actually hanging on here, but it's extended on the 15-minute chart, and it's already had a 5-minute breakout. So all the lines you see is just my it's just the 9 EMA. 9 EMA for each of the time frames. So the first one is 1 minute 9 EMA, 9 exponential moving average, 5-minute exponential moving average of the 9 EMA, and the 9 EMA 15, 30 minutes, hourly, and then the daily, which is the green one. So you can see the daily, which is green here, is at 1048 or so. And if I pull up the daily right here, the 9 EMA is at 1058. So I have it all on just my 1-minute chart. So I don't have to flip it back and forth like, okay, what's the 9 EMA on my 5-minute chart? So I have everything in my 1-minute chart. And here you can see that. So OCGN, I might take this short. Let's see. Let's see if it fell flags here. I might take a short. It's extended on the 5-minute chart. Here's the 5-minute chart. You might get an inverted cup and handle. Take a break of that. And then your 5-minute chart is extended at 1240. So that might have been the breakdown there. Might have missed 1284 stop. So the prior last low is 1271. $1269. Yeah. Definitely people are buying on the 5-minute here. They're trying to hold it up. this 5 minute is closing in 30 seconds. So it's gonna look better after this closes in 30 seconds. And then we could probably take a short after. Hopefully it gives us a small little bounce. I don't know. Maybe that was the break there. We might have missed it. That was probably the break. Around 1278, stopping at 1285. That's alright. I'm not gonna chase it down here. Yeah, I do have multiple chart at once too, just to look at the candlestick shape. Let me show you my full screen. This is what my full screen looks like. I have my main chart here, 1 minute chart. I have the daily chart here, hourly chart, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. And then I have the active trader on my thinkorswim, the thinkorswim level 2, my trade 0 level 2, trade 0 1 chart, and then I have a second set of chart here. And then I have the SPY, the overall market here, and the scanners watch list for today, and scanner watch list from yesterday, and just a few other ones. I have two brokers. I have Trade Zero and thinkorswim. But yeah, well, what I'm showing is just the 1 minute chart. Yeah, I don't really trust OCGN short. I don't think it's worth a short here now. I think the best spot was like probably around here to enter. I think it still has a lot of strength to it. Wow, Vxrt. Huge move there. Vxrt looks like if it gives a lower higher, I'll take it short. Need a lower high though. Please bounce. Yeah. So it looks like a high day push fell. But yeah, I was looking for a lower high here, and I'll take that short down to the 5 minute 9 EMA, which is at 10:05. But this is probably gonna pull back to the 5 minute 9 EMA. Didn't give a setup there, but yeah, it had a nice little flag here. I was watching it here. I mentioned I wasn't gonna take this because it was a bit wide here. Wanted another pullback or consolidate for another couple more minutes before I take that break. Now, yeah, it just broke higher day and didn't give a bounce off that 1 minute chart to short back to the 5 minute. For how long I've been trading? I've been trading for like 4 years. When I first started trading, I started really small, so and I lost like my first like 2.5 years. But I was only profitable maybe for like the last a year and a half or two. Yeah, it's OCGN looking strong. I think this might have been the 15-minute is gonna 15-minute test that it'll get, and it looks like if this actually holds a higher low here, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take it again. So good start on OCGN. It just needs to hold a higher low sometimes around here. I'll take it. Rail. Rail is not extended enough. 5 minute is just right underneath it. So it's not worth it to take a short. You might only get 5 cents, but you're risking 5 cents. NAKD, highly. Yeah, NAKD, I was watching this. I took a long trade earlier, took a small loss of $20 right here. I took a trade, I added a few. I had an area where I could have took some profits, but I wanted a 73 break higher. It broke 73 here momentarily, but couldn't hold it as support. So pretty much buyer became sellers here. For this to be a long trade, it would need to hold that 73 area. But it is going to probably consolidate around here, maybe get a VWAP squeeze and then back down. Or if it VWAP squeeze and hold 73 as support, I'll look at it long. But it looks like it's just trailing. Vxrt pretty much got that 5 minute from the 1 minute reversal, but didn't exactly give us a setup there. A higher low or a lower high here would have gotten me in. Didn't set up there, so let's move on. Rail is not extended enough, so I'm gonna move on from that. OCGN is still in play. I think this is ready for its next leg. It definitely needs a higher low here. So yeah, just to recap for the people that just joined, I took a long trade here. Stopped me out because there's like that little wick that I didn't like. So I took it off here for $50 loss, and I went ahead and took this cup and handle break right here, and I sold into this push. Sold the rest there, and then went ahead and looked for this flag break. Bought there 45 and sold into these pushes. And then I flipped short momentarily and cover long there. And then now I'm just waiting for a pattern to set up here. Either a higher low here for the push higher, or so it's holding its trend line as well. So we'll see if this trend line breaks. But a higher low here, a few more minutes. Ideally until this 15-minute candle to close. So ideally this 15-minute candle closes, and then we get another candle, and this candle could break this prior high on the 15-minute chart. So let's see what happens. Ideally we consolidate 6 more minutes. It will be extended on the hourly chart though, so that's the only downside. But it is pre-lunchtime, so it might not respect the hourly as much. So here's the hourly. It's a little bit extended. When the next hourly print is going to be like this, so it's going to be way extended right here. So we might get a pullback. So might not set up, or might not have a good move, but it could be a little quick little scalp. It might go a few 10-20 cents and then probably push back down to the hourly today. So far held 1286. GME, let me check GME. GME looks pretty decent. I think it held the 172 level, which was kind of main area. Also it is hitting, it is on this a little interesting. This could be the move. If you connect these two lines, it's right on it. It's breaking out of this trend line. Not a lot of volume going through there, so it's showing not a lot of people interested in this line break, trend break. Yeah, but I think it can get interesting. It's definitely holding up pretty well here. You got double bottom, and then you got your head and shoulders. Right? So this is the head and shoulders. So these are your shoulders. This is your head. Inverted head and shoulders. So it looks like it could go higher. But then you do have some overheads here, high volume. Pretty much these two candles are your highest volume of the day. So you might have some people that are gonna sell back down for today, but definitely it could get interesting if it's escalator consolidate around here and break of that. But yeah, on the daily chart, I would expect more volume today on this trendline break, but didn't really get that much volume. Maybe we'll get a next day follow through later. But yeah, maybe people are waiting for this candle to close above this trend line break to get their money in, but we'll see. It is holding this 172, or is it 172? Yeah, this 172 level. So this level is pretty key area, 172. As long as it holds 172, you can see there resistance, support, 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 and then resistance here. Resistance here, 772. Now it becomes support. So definitely it's really good. As long as it's above 172, I think it looks good. And it could, yeah, depending on how people react to this trendline break, it could be a multi-day move. I can see it go to 200 and then next week. But yeah, I usually day trade those things, but I don't really swing trade them. AMC had a nice similar break that I mentioned on this day. Pretty much same trend line that I draw earlier. It broke, but not enough volume or interest in that. It pretty much sold back down. All right, let's do a scan through here and see what else is moving. Rel just continue higher and not extended enough. Oh, NAKD. Wow, interesting. So it had a volume spike there on the trend line. Let's see how it reacts. But if this holds over VWAP, it can get interesting. We'll see on NAKD. But it got rejected at 73 there, pretty harshly. All right, Vxrt, we might get a 15-minute reversal later, although there might not be a lot of meat there. So I'll probably just pass. Long trade, it's gonna take a while to set up if it wants another leg. So no trade for there. Miso, SB, OCGN. OCGN, let me check the 15-minute chart. So the 15-minute chart is a little bit extended, we still might get a 1250 test. It's still a little bit extended. It's the next hourly print is going to print in the next 30 seconds and the next 15-minute print. So we'll see how it reacts here. If this reclaims hold this higher low, I'll take that. If it ends up breaking this trend line, which is a 1275 break, like inverted cup and handle here, I'll probably take it for the full 1250 test on the 15-minute chart here on OCGN. But let's see what it does here. So here's the next print of the 15-minute chart. So the low of the last 15-minute chart was at 1261. So the lows were here, 1261. So it went ahead at 1287s here. I'm going to see how it reacts at this level. If this tops out and becomes resistance, I'm going to take a short. If it pops up and reclaims higher low here, I will take that as a long. $13 break. So I'm gonna give it a moment to see which way it sets up. All right. So it looks pretty weak. I think we might get a 15-minute test. Let me extend this trend line. All right, so this high here is 1291. All right, can we get one more bounce here? Oh no. All right, one more bounce, please. So it broke the trend line there. It was a wick, but let's see if we can get a bounce, and I'll take a short through 1273. Let's see. Let's go one bounce. So 1255 is where the 5-minute 90 MA is at. It is kind of close, so it might not be worth it. Let's see. Let's see how it reacts here though. All right, so there's the bounce. 1284 is going to be those highs. It's going to be my risk level if it breaks 1273. Let me connect these. All right, 1284 stop, 1273 break. That's going to be my plan. 1255 would be my target. So let's see if it does something here. Might get tricky because it has a lot of wicks recently. So, but I'll take the 1273 short. If it breaks through it. If it ends up holding here, I'm gonna look for a long. Yeah, the 15-minute is a little bit extended. It hasn't gotten a full test, so I'm leading more of a short. All right, I'm shorting here. In 1,000 shares. All right, so it needs to break. All right, not breaking yet. We're gonna get the 1273 break. All right, so 1284 is my stop. So if it breaks that, I'm gonna take it off. So it looks like it might take me out here. All right, so I took it off there. All right, downsize. So it got a little wick there. So let's see what it does. It might fail flag here. So this is a fail flag break. So I downsized to just 500 shares now. And this is a flag break. If it fails flag here, I'm going to take it through to 1273 still. If it breaks up higher here, 1287, so I'm going to take it all off. Stop, full stop. So these highs 1287. So, all right. So I took it off there. Lost about $110 there. But it was worth a shot. I think it wasn't extended enough. The 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart was slowly caught up, but yeah, it was worth a shot through the 1273. But it ended up breaking out on this flag. So we'll revisit this. I think if it actually sets up after a $13 test and a higher low, I will look at it on the long side. So let's see what it does. Yeah. So I went in a little too early. The trigger was a 1273, but it didn't break. So all right, so I broke out the flag there a little too early. So let's see what it does here. So I'm still leaning more on the short side on OCGN, but if it That's DPW. Oh, nice. DPW, nice extension there. Let's see what happens. So OCGN is going higher. All right, so I have short locates on my broker here. So let's see if it gives a bounce. All right, so that's a pretty big bounce. I think it's going higher. All right, so it's not a short yet. We'll just wait. Yeah, OCGN. I should have flipped long there, like I mentioned. But I was kind of stuck short. But it's okay. So DPW. What is the float on this DPW? Institution owns 6%. Float is 8 million. Of 49 million. Pretty high in terms of float, but all right, so let's see if it sets up here. So 21 could potentially take a okay, so all right, I went in early there, but I'm gonna take this right here. I'm gonna just risk high of days right now. Just because it broke high of days with high volume, and we'll see how it reacts here. But I'll look to re-add. If it actually does a small bounce, I'm gonna add. I only have 1,500 shares. This looks like it's the trend break, at least. All right, so if it tops off at 18 here, I'm gonna take another add at 314. 314 break. That's a 319 there. So my stop right now is 321 on these shares. If it tops off at 318 and breaks 314, I'm gonna add more short to my position. So this candle is closing in 10 seconds. Let's see what it does. If it ends up holding here, I have to take a stop. I took a stop there, $51 loss. I think it's still holding. So yeah, it's gonna be tricky. It's definitely a higher float, so it moves a little slower. But I don't know. I'll try it one more time and I'll move on from that if I fail. Yeah, but again, yeah, I went in a little too early. It's you know, sometimes the price you pay for going in too early, but the full signal is the inverted cup and handle, right? So it didn't really give me that signal. So that was the inverted cup and handle break there. If it had happened, but I went in early, risking higher days, kind of knowing that, and it's still trending higher, so it hasn't given us a signal yet. Yeah, it's getting also in the late part of the morning, so might have to sign off pretty soon. Yeah, for trade zero, this one is not worth it because you're probably getting only like 10 cents and you pay 2 cents in commission for locate, so it's not worth it. Yeah, so like when I see something in small range like this and I can't short on my TD, I don't bother looking at my trade zero because it's always like 2 cents at least. All right, so it might not give us a trigger. OCGN broke higher day, really weak. I'm gonna jump to OCGN. I'm just gonna leave DPW alone. I think that one's gonna be tricky. So this broke higher days, right? And it looks pretty weak. I'm gonna look for a short on it. Probably 308. So you could short risk 309s right now. Let's see, 309s. Oh, so my TD account, they just lost locates, or I don't have any more locates. I was able to short it earlier, but I guess it's they ran out of shares, so I can't short it right now on TD Ameritrade. But if you have shares, it looks decent. High day push, it failed. You could take a short. This might be an early short, but you take a short here, you could risk here or here, but the 15-minute is extended, the hourly is extended, so a bigger context would be a big break of this trend line, and you might get a 1220. But also there's the hourly context, which is a breakout on the hourly chart. So we'll see what it does. Looks like it still has some strength there. So that might have been the highs there, and then if it does break this maybe mini trend line here on this dip, like it would break you need to break this trend line and then break this big trend line, and then I think it is probably going back down to the hour. Hey, by the dip. FAMI will go to $1. You know, it looks pretty decent today. It tested the hourly chart. So it looks decent right now. You have support, became resistance. It's trying to reclaim it as support. It could actually run. But the time of day right now is lunchtime. So we might not get the volume to run right now. But if it hangs on here in 1 hour, I could see this breaking higher days. To answer your question, it goes back to a buck. Potentially, it could probably potentially fill the gap if it did what I say today, and maybe break higher days. Maybe you'll get another green candle, and then maybe slowly creep back up to fill the gap. But I'm not sure what the news was that made this initial gap down, but potential. So DPW actually, starting to have a reversal here, but didn't set up a clean setup for me to take, or I would take at least. NAKD, definitely 73 is the key level here. Every time it spikes up, gets rejected. For this to be a long setup that I would take, it will need a support. So if it breaks over 73 and finds support at 73, I'll buy that flag break wherever this line is drawn with a 73 stop. But yeah, before it does that, it will need to hold 73. So I'll probably put a price alert around just above 73, just to remind me. But yeah, this looks decent. I think once this could consolidate at over 73, it's a nice long trade. Keep an eye on it. Vxrt had that nice breakout. That went a little too early for me, but it was a decent move there. Looks like it's holding the 15-minute chart. Oh, SON was getting a reversal here, but I think it's too late for us. All right, so it's getting a late part of the morning. I'm gonna call it a morning session, and then just to recap my P&L for today, traded 4 stocks. I had a nice win on OCGN. I was up 380. I gave back $100 on the short side earlier, and then a small loss on NAKD, and then a loss on DPW short, and I think this was also a short on Mark that I stopped out. So overall, I'm up $85 for the day on these 4 trades. OCGN, yeah, OCGN is broke another high. I think this will have a big wash when it breaks this trend line. It's gonna have a big red candle to the hourly. I think that's my guess. Like once it breaks this huge trend line here, it's gonna probably be a big red candle all the way to the 1220. Just the way that it's trending higher and higher by each penny, it's looks really weak. Thanks for the follow, Pathfinder 666. And the hourly is extended. So It might happen in 30 minutes, maybe after 10 o'clock PST. But I'm looking for more of a short bias now on OCGN. Oh, thanks for the follow Zukazoid. But yeah, I have a full-time job. Those of you who don't know. And I usually just trade and stream, or I stream for the first 2 hours or so, 2 or 3 hours or so in the morning, and then I continue to trade throughout the day, offline. But yeah, if you enjoy the content, yeah, be sure to hit the subscribe button or follow me. And I usually get on around 6:45 to 7 o'clock. I usually avoid trading the first 15 minutes of the day, just because it's high volatility and it's more random and unpredictable. So I avoid those. I trade more in terms of pattern. I wait for patterns to form to have a defined risk and reward. And that's why I avoid those morning trades, because you don't get any setups for there. But yeah, I'm probably gonna sign off. And I normally make a end of day like day trade recap, and you can check it out on my YouTube channel to summarize my trades. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next week, since it's a Friday. So you guys have a good weekend, and thank you for tuning in. All right, see you guys. Bye.